Welcome back to Our Side of the Story podcast. I am your host, Daizah.
I'm Taira.
We just want to thank you guys for tuning in. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all of your guys' support. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
We're getting into it. All right. So our last question of the day was, what is the most believable lie you've ever told in your lifetime? Now, I know some of y'all got some stories out there, so make sure y'all have dropped the comment if you haven't already. Well, let's get into it. What are our responses?
So, Mom, if you're watching this, I don't even know if you know or if you don't know, but so the most believable lie I've ever told was that I didn't lose my virginity, or I lost my virginity after I graduated high school. So when I was in high school, my mom would tell me, like, you need to wait till after high school, like, don't have sex, da-da-da-da-da.
The mom talk.
Yes, the mom talk, like, making sure I did not get pregnant. Well, it was one of those things, like, if you want to have sex, like, tell me. And even as close as we were, I still did not tell her. But yeah, I don't even know till this day if she knows I actually lost my virginity or if I didn't. But I was definitely trying to have sex and like do the nasty.
You say you were or were not?
I was trying, yeah.
Oh, you little freak. Jesus.
Relax.
Okay.
Yeah, that was freshman year with, yeah.
Sorry, my face. I got to control my... We listen and we don't judge.
No, it was definitely freshman year. I was definitely trying to have sex, but like it hurts. So it's just like I don't know. I was just trying so many times. I don't even know when I actually...
I'm picking up on so many words. I'm just like, so many times. Wait a minute.
No, it's one of those things. It's just like when you first have sex, you're like, oh, I don't know. Is this right? You know?
Yeah, I feel it. I can't act perfect because I lost mine around that time as well. So
okay. Yeah, so I don't know if she knows or not that I was trying, but anytime we were around her friends, like, I told Daisha she needs to wait till after high school. And I was like, yeah.
And she probably around her friends saying, my daughter is such a saint. Your daughters are just fast. Put them in a Christian school. No, literally. And then here you are. That's crazy. Okay, so the most believable lie you've ever told was you saved yourself after
high school.
Bless it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Miss Stacy. The beans have been spilled.
Sorry, Mom. Yeah. I was going to take it to the grave, but that was the biggest one.
That's why this is behind closed door conversations.
Yeah. What was yours?
Mine isn't that juicy, but I'm going to say this is probably the funniest and most memorable lie I've ever told because it was kind of like, damn, you really fell for that? So I think I was I might have been a junior, so maybe like 16, 17. And I had this like hoopty little Jeep Cherokee that I used to just be whipping the steering fluid out of that thing.
Halfway out.
Yes. So where I used to live, there was like a police station right in the vicinity of it. So I'm speeding. I forgot where I was going. Why was I in a rush? I don't know. But I'm speeding past this damn police station, forgetting that it was a police station right there. And it just so happened that everybody on that payroll was coming out of the department at the time that I was speeding past, and they were going into their cars. So I was like, they definitely about to pull me over. So I pull one of these. I just start wiggling the car, and then I pull over. And just like I thought, they got in their car, they pulled their lights, and they came up behind me. They were like, is everything okay over here? I'm like, oh my God, sir, my steering wheel just locked up on me. I don't know what to do. Like, do you know why this is happening? Oh my God, I'm scared. Like my car, I just bought this and da-da-da. He's like, no, don't worry, just pop the hood. I'm like, pop the hood, okay. So I popped the hood and he's like, oh yeah, you just need some steering wheel fluid, some steering fluid, whatever it's called. Knowing it was like half full because I did have a problem with it, but it wasn't a problem at that moment. So this man goes to AutoZone. I mean, hey, whoever I forgot what your name was, but I appreciate you though. Till this day, this man goes to AutoZone and comes back with steering fluid. The only problem with this was It took him like 30, 45 minutes to come back.
Should have drove off.
So I sat there. I had to sit in that lie.
I had to
sit in that lie. No, because he had my plates. He would have been at my door. I see that steering wheel started working. But no, that was probably the most believable lie I've ever told because I was in a full actress mode.
Yeah,
I don't know
crazy.
what happened. Oh my God, like what's happening?
Well, it's good to know that you don't fold under pressure.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to come up with something on the spot. But I mean.
Because knowing me, I'd be like.
Nah, you can't fold under pressure, especially when it comes to cops.
I definitely do.
Especially when it comes to cops, I'm going to come up with something.
Nah.
But you know what that reminds me of? Because the book that I've read, I think I read it not last year, but the year before, 2023. 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have never read it though. So
really,
give me some.
Highly recommend if y'all have not read 48 Laws of Power. It's just a book that just puts you on game as far as psychology and the way. I hate to use this word, but I'm gonna use it lightly. How to manipulate, but also how to kind of like put yourselves in other people's shoes, how they're thinking, viewing you a certain way, things like that. But in particular, law number 21. And how does it go? What is it? How does it go? Let me think about it. Basically, I'm gonna just paraphrase because this is probably not the right verbiage, but like play a fool to catch a fool. Okay. So play a fool to catch a fool. And what that means is basically you playing naive in order to kind of make somebody let their guard down or make somebody feel as though you're not as competent as them in a certain area, whatever the case may be. And you be surprised how they think they have the upper hand, but you really have the upper hand because you're just like, you stupid fool. Got your ass.
So you're saying like, I feel like that reminds me of dark psychology or like dark femme.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
Dark femme.
Like dark, what is it? Like dark femme?
Femme.
Dark feminism, maybe?
That's like when women use their seduction to kind of play into the hands of a man.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
But it's one of those things where women know how to manipulate men to get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is that healthy or is that unhealthy?
Ooh. Honestly speaking.
Let me find that video.
Okay. Women manipulating men to get what they want. Is that unhealthy or is that healthy? I think it could honestly be a mixture of both, depending on what it is that they're trying to get the man to do or give them. Because if they're on like some, what is that called? Sadist, like some dominatrix type stuff. Like, I mean, that's a little sexy. But at the same time, if they're doing it for the ill will of themselves or others, then that's when it becomes unhealthy because at that point, you're using your God-given gift as a woman. Because, like, let's face it, pussy is power. Like, let's just face it. Let's face it, pussy is power. You know what I'm saying?
Control.
A woman can literally look at a man a certain way, and they automatically hit that switch. Like, oh, she wants me. I'm about to give it to her. You know what I'm saying? Little do they know, we just trying to get something out of our eye. You know what I'm saying? Going like this.
We gotta
like, baby, calm down. You know what I'm saying?
No, literally.
And then the sad thing is the man was willing to do anything to make sure that interaction, that intercourse happens.
I looked at you for 30 seconds and you think
I'm ready to marry you, have your babies and everything.
Please relax.
Read that quote,
please
though.
Control
what you got?
Okay, so it's a obsession tip number 1. Making a man obsessed is easy. Ignore him for a little bit too long every once in a while. Randomly cancel dates and keep the convo short. This triggers the human need for consistency and validation. Give him breadcrumbs of your attention. And once in a while, you give him full attention, but always just enough to keep him waiting for more.
Yes.
You see him, but you won't acknowledge him fully. This will drive him madly into obsession with you. Manipulation is a fine art. We cover this deeply in her ebook or whatever. And is that healthy? Like,
okay, the way that person, whoever this dark femme person is, the way they worded that, I think that could be labeled as healthy. Why? Because they're literally establishing what I would consider a healthy relationship. It has a little bit of mystery left to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not opening the Pandora's box all the way.
Yes.
Like,
and making a man work for you.
Exactly.
Because then he can actually value a lot more. But let me give you guys the definition of dark psychology. So it refers to the science and art of manipulation and mind control, focusing on how people can be influenced and controlled through various techniques. It examines techniques used to influence others' thoughts, feelings, and actions, often for personal gain or to achieve specific outcomes.
It's 2 words that you said in that definition. And I'm like, okay, I think that right there is a healthy label of, well, and honestly, it can go either way, but I think it's a healthy label of healthy and unhealthy. So it said control and an influence.
Yes.
So I think when you're trying to control somebody, that's when it's unhealthy. When you're trying to influence somebody, like, because I feel as though if you're influencing me, I still have some type of willpower. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can easily get out of the decision that I'm making to do whatever it is that you're asking me to do. If you're controlling me, like as mind control, I'm stuck. I'm now doing whatever it is that you want me to do, and there's no way out of it.
There's definitely a boundary to it. You know what just came to my head though? That is almost like disciplining a child. Like,
do tell.
Like in a sense of like risk to reward almost.
Okay, psychology. Come on through it.
Sorry. This is our therapy session, guys. No, I was kidding.
You stupid.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you're going to act this way. Well, I'm going to give you this, what is it? Consequence, and you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So then the reward is next time you won't do it again.
But it's a term for that. Positive
reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement is good.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Click.
I like that. And for those who are not familiar with those concepts, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, and please correct me if I'm wrong because I'm about to just spitball off the top of my head. So positive reinforcement is usually considered like, and I hate to relate it in this way, if you tell a dog to sit, and they sit, you give them the treat. So it's reinforcing, it's conditioning them to continue those actions, that behavior. Negative reinforcement is when you either take something away, like if you don't do what I'm asking you to do, I'm taking something away from you.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is. Let's go kind of like positive add, negative subtract.
Positive and negative.
Positive reinforcement, I'm going to add something to you or add something, give you something. Negative reinforcement, I'm going to take something away.
Okay. You did that.
Yeah, I did that. Hopefully I'm right, though, before I celebrate too soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
But no, okay, that's actually kind of cool, though. Yeah. But I think, and as we were kind of talking about the willpower of a woman and how she can influence or control a man, I immediately thought of going back to the play a fool to catch a fool, how women, we kind of behave in a certain way to boost the ego of a man as well.
Yes.
So I know, like, I'm 5'3", but I can, I'll do a damn box jump on the counters if I got to reach something at the top shelf or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if my husband's around, I'm gonna be like, babe, I can't reach it. Can you reach it for me? I can't. And it makes them feel like, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't even strong for real. No, I was kidding.
Not too much for my husband now. Not too much.
No. I was talking about them saying that to us, like, you're not even strong.
Yeah.
Why are you lifting that?
Yeah.
Or we be at the house doing freaking building dressers and hanging TVs all by ourselves.
And getting it done that day because I asked you 2 days ago to do it.
But when you're like, can you hang the TV, please? Like, can you have it up by tonight?
And then if they don't have it up, you in there. Do this my damn self.
Yeah.
Hell nah.
Have you ever just, you know what? I think it's a boundary thing though. Like expectation wise. Like setting expectations for yourself. With dark psychology, you put on the table what it is and what it's not.
Okay.
Like, I'm not just going to freely give myself to you. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I feel like touching back into the topic of femininity, however you're saying it. Yeah, femininity. It kind of goes along with that as well. So I love how, and I've read some things on Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case may be, where they say like, sit a certain way, you know, to boost your frequency, you know, stuff like that. So I definitely agree with you as far as laying out expectations. And I think when you have expectations for yourself, like how you depict yourself as a woman, like I sit this way, you're going to come correct when you talk to me, you know what I'm saying? So
attract who you want to, be who you want to attract.
I like that. Be who you want to attract. Absolutely. And a lot of women don't understand that concept. If I'm walking around dressed
like a bum,
you're going to talk to me and treat me like a bum. Yeah. That's just how that go. Now, I mean, it's okay to be bummy sometimes, of course, but if that's like your everyday something, you just
don't be walking out the house looking all crazy.
You just bummy all the time. People are like, that's the, what's the word? That is the interaction and behavior and what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
That's the treatment. That's basically what I'm trying to say. That's the treatment that you're going to get from other people. They're going to treat you how you treat yourself, basically. Does that make sense? So if I'm bummy and I talk like I'm bummy, like, oh, I don't feel like doing that today, people are going to treat you as such. So it's
someone that's like people pleasing, like just doing things for other people.
In a way, what do you mean? Okay, so people pleasing to what?
Like you ever just do things and then like you really don't want to do them?
All the time. You know how I come. But it's like
you're doing it not for yourself. You're doing it for other people.
As it relates to like you wanting people to treat you a certain way, so you're just doing that in order to please people of how they depict you?
Yeah.
You might have said something just there.
We get into it.
Okay. Since we on the topic of psychology and whatnot, there's two concepts out there. You have self-concept and you have social self-concept. So self-concept is how you depict yourself, basically, right? Like, I am this way, I like this, I do this, I blah, 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 blah. Social self-concept is how others view you. So if others view you a certain way, like say, going into like Tiara's strong-willed, Tiara's, outspoken, you know, stands on business, Taira does this, it's like, dang, do I? Okay, I guess I gotta play into that then. Like, let me continue to do that since y'all see me as this way, because I didn't see that in myself. Is that kind of what you're saying as far as people pleasing?
Essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Now, if we're getting into the topic of like people pleasing in a different manner as far as going along to get along, that's a whole nother conversation. Now,
we got time.
You know me. Well, we've already talked about it and established that I'm an overgiver. I'm a people pleaser. Yeah. So when you go along to get along, I've learned that it just doesn't sit right in my spirit when I do that, but I continuously do it. Why? Because I'm just like in this.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. I'm trying to get out of the cycle, but it's still a work in progress.
That cycle is definitely learned in childhood.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
They say it's a survival tactic.
Oh. So you conform. Yes.
Yeah, like it's comfortable for you.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Where do you think you established that from? Like your people pleasing?
That is hard to say. And I know
why do you feel the need to people please? Like what triggers that for you?
I think overall customer satisfaction. That's why. I think that's like literally why. Like I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to feel as though I'm reliable. I feel as though Tiara's multifaceted. Like you can ask her to do this, you can ask her to do this, you can ask her to do this, she's gonna get it done.
A jack of all trades.
And little do they know, I'm sitting there calling people like, how do I do this? Like what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure it out, which is a part of the game, but still, it's like those are things that I probably should have said no to because that's not my lane. You know what I'm saying? But as it relates to where does it come from, I honestly cannot pinpoint where that stemmed from.
So I was watching a few videos, I think, on YouTube, and it was saying that people pleasing comes from two types of parent households. So one is a dismissive parent, and then one is a very strict parent. And that when you were not getting the love or attention that you needed, you would go into people pleasing because you would do anything to get that validation from them. Do you feel like that's you? So it's like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to be the best, I have to show up, I have to be top 2 and I ain't 2. Yeah. And I'm going to do anything I can just so that I can get an I love you from you or a thank you from you. Ooh.
Not you cover for me.
I ain't coming for you. This is a moment for us to be aware. Yeah. Learn.
We're getting into it.
Heal,
we're getting into it. Okay.
Get past all this so that we ain't doing the same thing to our kids. That's just
and
what
continuing the cycle. I agree with you. I agree with you.
This little cycle, okay?
Ooh, okay. I don't know why I have like I ain't even gonna call it a love-hate. It's just a type of relationship with the word validation. And honestly, it might be because that is the case.
But
because I hate when people say like, you shouldn't seek validation and blah, 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 whatever the case is when it comes to the word validation. Because I feel as though I don't seek validation from people. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's a low vibrational something. Like, I need your approval. I don't feel like that from anybody as far as needing approval. But when you just said like needing a thank you, I was like, ooh, okay. I think that is the case in my case.
I think what I'm trying to say is like, because most of the time we do things, or if like we do this project or something that we're proud of, right? We want people to see it.
Look what I did.
Yeah, look what I did. Like, it's the best. Yeah. Put it on a pedestal almost, But when we don't get that validation from external sources, it's like, well, did I really? So it's like, I'm going to make sure I do what I need to do to be able to get that. Okay. Because I feel like if you're looking for external validation, then internally you're not like, damn, I really did that. And I don't even need to tell nobody or show nobody. And most of the time, a lot of us is like doing things for, You
speaking to my spirit right now, because I'm just like, damn, that is me. That's literally me. And
you know what? Everyone does it though, I feel like, to a certain degree.
But it's like, why? Why is that in human nature to need the external validation?
Self-love.
I hate that word, validation. Ooh, yes.
That's what it literally boils down to.
Okay. Now, when you say self-love, is it a lack thereof? And that's why people are seeking those external?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
You have people out there, this is just my side of the story, my experience. But when I see people in, like, you can just look at them and you can tell that I don't know. I'm just not a super, like, flashy person. Yeah. Or put all my business out there, all my little rewards and this, and that, all my accomplishments. So when I see that, I feel like it's, okay, but why did you,
Why did you have to do that? Like, what's the end goal here of you, exposing this information or this whatever?
But I'm also a person too where it's just like, I'm not going to, like, I'll post the process of something, but I'm not going to post every little bit of it because I want to show you guys where I would, what is it, 0 to 100, but just, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So
we ain't going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 100. Yeah.
No, literally.
It might be like 0, 15, 25. No, but seriously though. But I think that's a two-sided coin as far as, because I'm thinking about myself and when I've posted or exposed on any other platforms, things that I've had going on or had conversations with people and showed them like receipts of something. I do it a lot of times for motivation or, like showing people, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally the work you put into it. You get what you put, how does that go? You get what you put into it. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I can see that being some people's motives behind why they, hey, look what I did. Da, 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 da.
Also, too.
But it could also be ill intent behind it, too.
Fear of judgment.
Okay, break that down for me.
So I just remember one time, this was when I was selling solar and I had my Volkswagen Jetta. And this Volkswagen Jetta had stains on all the seats from like sweat. And then the hubcaps because
Sweaty
it was
booty stuff.
It was hot.
I feel
I'm out here knocking doors. What do you expect? Freaking guys in the scene is just like butt marks. but the hubcaps would be like halfway off. But this car was $264 a month. I was making a ton of money. I did not care. But when I got around my friends, I was like, yeah, I make all this money, but I'm driving a Volkswagen Jetta, you know? But it's like a fear of judgment. So it's like, okay, now I'm driving a Benz. What's up?
Yeah.
You know, it's like sometimes people pleasing is to prove a point. And I think that's where a lot of us have to step back and look like, are you trying to prove your point to somebody? Because we don't need to prove anything to anybody but ourselves. And a lot of y'all, I don't know who it is, but I feel like a lot of people like to be flashy and show all these things, but deep down inside, they're not happy or they really don't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? What is going on?
I feel that. That's me. Well, let me not say that's me. That
is it you though?
It was me.
Okay, was.
It was
it's
me.
Not you now.
No, when I tell you I've done I ain't gonna say a complete 180, but maybe like 150 degrees. I'm still working on the other 30.
That's all right.
However, that's progress, like huge progress. I would say if you would have caught me, not even 2 years ago, I would say like maybe the beginning of last year is when I really started to sit down and have a conversation with myself like, okay, something has to give. You know what I'm saying? Because one, what I'm seeking, I'm not getting. So what am I doing this for?
Yes.
I have, and we've had this conversation before, and I'm about to get real vulnerable with y'all right now. I've dug a hole and put my finances in it. And for some reason, I just continue to pick up that shovel and dig even more. And I do that time after time after time after time again, because I'm trying to prove a point, or I'm trying to show, depict something like, that I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, woo, child. Yeah. And why? I don't know. Because it's like, we go out to dinner. It's like, I'm going out to dinner with like a table full of 10 people. And I'm like, I got the check. Why?
No, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? If I got to sit there and go to my savings and put money in my checking,
whoever
like
let
that,
you pay for the whole tab and ain't...
You got to remember, we dealing...
Step up. Y'all are part of the problem too.
Like, come on, let's be for real.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But yeah, I've done that time after time after time again. So when you talk about people showing up in ways that, you know, that's really not them. And then it's all for the matter of people pleasing, needing that approval, needing that confirmation of like, hey, you said this about me and that's exactly what it is. Or you said this about me and I'm about to show you that it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah. And like you said, it does boil down to self-love. Because when you hear somebody talk bad or down to you, whatever the case is, like, I know that's not true. So, you know what I'm saying?
When you know yourself.
When you know yourself,
you know
and your
who you are deep down to the core.
Yes.
And this girl, I started working out with her at the gym. This is kind of like off topic, but it reminded me that, so my favorite compliment that I get from people is that I'm down to earth.
I can see that.
And when she said it to me, I was like, wow. Yes, thank you for reminding me, like, internally, I know I'm down to earth and no one can tell me otherwise. Yeah. Because, for instance, like, some people will experience me and they don't feel that. Yeah. You know? And so when I get she's this, she's that, I'm like, I'm not. Like, I know I'm not. It just may have been that moment that you experienced me in. But this girl, I saw her once, she toured the gym, like helped me tour the gym. And then like a week and a half later, she saw me and she like literally was like, Daizah, like, hey, like, let's work out together. Ever since then, we just been vibing, like, just been cool. Yeah. And so it's just a good thing to, like, when you know who you are internally, you start to set boundaries for yourself. And when anyone says anything otherwise, it like, no, that's your perspective of me. But I know deep down inside, like, my intentions are good. My heart is pure. I know that I'm a light in other people's lives. And if I'm not a light to yours, hey, that's okay. We come in and out of people's lives for a reason, you know? Yeah. So I think it's just one of those things that you will learn over time. Yeah. but it also takes time to like sit and feel it. And then in order to break the cycle, you get so fed up with yourself. You're like, fix
it now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're eventually like, I'm not tolerating that.
Yes. Putting the foot down.
Yes. Like we stepping on necks.
Yes. You're so silly. What you just said, and honestly, I'm thankful for my circle that I have today, because my circle that I have today has not always been the case.
Yeah.
You know, in high school or college, whatever. When I joined the military, surrounding yourself with people who influence you with the right information. So like you are down to earth, you are the light in people's lives, you are this, you are that, filling your cup with the confirmation of what you already know.
And embracing
it. But when you have people in your circle who's like, Taira, crash out, Taira, this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm taking on that identity rather than what I truly authentically
turns it
is. Up. Exactly. Not even, because that's not truly me anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I have people around me, maybe like people from my past, that's only seen that side of me and not the evolved side of me. It's kind of like y'all are trying to replace the traits that I currently possess with something that I'm not. And then I am easily, let me not say I'm easily influenced, but sometimes when you are around people you're comfortable with, they have a easier way of influencing you. Like, yeah, Taira's like, yeah, I am. Yeah. Rather than truly authentically being who I am. You know what I'm saying? So choose y'all circles wisely, y'all. And I'm not saying cut off the people who are saying different things. You just got to set expectations for people. Like we said, like, hey, I'm not that. I don't do this. I don't drink that. I'd move like this. And you're going to treat me and say, speak to me as such. So boundaries, setting boundaries, they say is not get out of my life, like getting rid of everything. That's not setting boundaries. No. That's isolation. Absolutely.
So they say, for example, setting a healthy boundary would be like in relationships, like, or an unhealthy boundary would be like, I mean, I am really tired and exhausted, but I will go if that's what you want to do. That's an unhealthy boundary. A healthy boundary is, hey, I'm really tired and exhausted. I need to get some rest. Let's schedule for a different time and day. So that's one of those things where it's just like, you'll learn over time, but most of the time it's just like, all right, whatever you want to do to satisfy, you know?
Yep.
But setting boundaries is not just F everybody.
Right. So instead of conforming and just not having any boundaries at all, collaborate or work together to come to a middle ground. Yes, I think that's very healthy. Yeah. So it's not kind of like one side or the other. A win-lose, it's a win-win.
Yeah. And then when you set the boundary and they don't respect it, that's when you're like, all right, well, if you can't respect my boundary, then
I'm going to give you probably one more strike. And if you strike out, sayonara. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like I'm telling you, life is too short to just allow people to cross your boundaries time after time after time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like once people show you their colors, you need to believe them. You know what I'm saying? What is that George Bush saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me can't get fooled again. I always remember it from the. I was just about to say that. I always remember that quote from the J. Cole song. But no, that's real life. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because now it's like I've allowed you to do this and make it a cycle. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna have to cut the tie, or we're gonna have a serious conversation so that this is corrected. You know what I'm saying? So,
So the good thing about experiencing or like going through these experiences is when you are in the process of something, like when you're in the middle of people pleasing, it's also good to reflect internally.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we talked about a situation earlier and you were saying that
yes.
In the middle of okay.
Yes. So the conversation we had earlier, so I just got back in town. So kind of like background information. I just got back in town literally midnight last night.
3 o'clock, it felt like.
To record some episodes. And Daizah and I were just getting caught up, girl to girl talk behind closed doors. So let's go ahead and bring it in front of the door. And I was telling her that last month I did an 8-day fast with my mother-in-law. And I did it because she asked me to do it. And I'm just like, going along to get along. Yeah, sure, let's do it. I didn't really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I was in my big back era at that time. So it's like, why would I want to fast, especially for 8 days? You know what I'm saying? So going along to get along, I went ahead and went through with it. And by day 3, because it was all liquids, by day 3, I was like, why am I doing this? This is the stupidest decision ever. Like, why did I allow somebody to influence me to do something I don't feel like doing? And that really didn't sit well with me in my spirit, because I'm just like, ugh, like, why did I make that choice to be influenced by somebody to do something I didn't want to do?
Yeah.
So going back into the topic of people pleasing, I feel like majority of the time when I'm people pleasing, I'm doing something that I don't want to do or I don't feel like doing.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel deterred and just yucky inside.
Yeah.
But the outcome of this, one scenario, I think by the time I got to the 5th or 6th day, I was like, you know what, man, I really needed this. So I'm really glad that I did go through with it, because I needed that reset, that recalibration. Because I had unhealthy habits, not going to the gym, eating whatever, going to sleep late, and all this different things. So doing that 8-day fast did actually help me get back on the right track that I wanted to be on anyways. Yeah. Just didn't have the momentum or the drive to get it started. So that was like my jump start. So in this scenario specifically, it did work in my favor, which actually reminds me, sometimes in the moments that we don't feel like doing something, but somebody's bringing something to you as an opportunity to better yourself. Like it's in your best interest, but I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
You miss out on a lot of opportunities just by not feeling like doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the downfall of following your emotions. When you react based off of emotions.
Okay.
Because you were quick to say, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. Well, I said I was going to do it. But, in my head, I'm like, what? Am I doing this? Why did I say I was going to do that? Yeah. But no, I agree with you. And honestly, I've been practicing a lot of self-reflection lately. Where did this come from? I don't know, because I didn't tell myself, let me start practicing self-reflection. No, I just started doing a lot of self-reflection, like a daily something. What did I do good today? What did I do today that I could probably improve on tomorrow? So daily reflection is really good if y'all don't practice something like that. It just kind of brings you into a state of awareness that you probably aren't on a daily basis, just so you're not in autopilot mode. You know what I'm saying? Because you ever drive home from work and you're like, damn, I don't remember getting here. You know what I'm saying? So when you kind of do a self-reflection, it puts you in a state of I know I was present in my day. You know what I'm saying? I took control of my day. Yeah. But back to what I was saying, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection lately, and I realized that I have missed out on an ample amount of opportunities because I don't feel like doing it. You know what I'm saying? So outside of the topic of people pleasing, sometimes you have to analyze and dissect. Am I doing this to people? Is this person bringing me this task or whatever as something in my best interest or something in their best interest? So you do have to analyze and differentiate between those two. Is it in their best interest or is it in my best interest? Yeah. And sometimes if it is in your best interest, go for it. You know what I'm saying? And don't look at it as people pleasing, because it's not going to sit right with you. Do it out of the mindset of, this is an opportunity. And hey, and if you get it wrong, like it was in the best interest of the other person, it was an opportunity for you to learn.
Absolutely.
I'm clocking you now. Don't ask me to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah.
Now that I've realized that there's moments where I'm people pleasing or I do things in the moment, at night when the day's over and I reflect, I'm like, okay, but you didn't really have to say that for real. Why did you even say that? There's just, when you start that, I feel like process of, your awareness level and stuff like that, you start to catch yourself what was the point of that?
Yeah.
And so when you go for the next day, you are better. You're like a better person, you know? I started to catch myself like, girl, you ain't really have to say that.
Say that, yes.
You doing too much.
Facts. I've gotten better with that of reflecting in the moment. Like as soon as I say something and it didn't feel right, I'm like, I'll literally scratch my head like,
all right, I'm
okay,
just
was that
quiet.
good, bad, in the middle? Which one was, you know what I'm saying?
No, literally.
And let me tell you how much humility I've gained over the years. I'll literally go back to that person like, hey, you didn't deserve that. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Or, hey, I was incorrect. I actually went back and got the right information, and here's the right information. Because sometimes I ain't gonna hold you. I do be talking on my ass. Like, somebody asked me a question, I'm like, yeah, it's this.
At least you got the confidence.
But here's the thing. I've grown since then. So I'll literally, after that conversation, go back and look up. And most of the times I am right. Like, I have a lot of useless knowledge in my head for no reason. But a lot of times I'm right. But the times that I'm not right, I'll go back and research it, and then I'll come to them like, hey, actually, I gave you the wrong answer. Da, 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 da. So it's good to self-reflect. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
It makes you a better person. Like if you don't have awareness of who you are, and when I say who you are, I mean who you are today. Because if y'all ain't learned nothing from me up to this point, who you are today is who you were yesterday is who you are. Oh my God, I can't get it together. Oh my God.
It's okay.
Who you were yesterday is not who you are today. Boom. There it is. Finally got it out.
Pow.
Yeah. Boom. That was really corny of me. I've always wanted to do that though. A stand-up comedy, just so I can do the ding.
Ooh, yes.
But that's a whole nother conversation. That was just random.
You have to put that on, yes.
It's on my bucket list. Yes. Like I want to go to
I'm boohoo crying.
Cafe type deal. Yeah. A big one too. And not no like 20-seater cafe. I want like a crowd. And they have the best ones in where is Kevin Hart from? I want to go to that cafe or lounge, whatever it's called, that he did his stand-up comedy growing up in. But that's, like I said, that's a whole nother conversation. We can talk about that offline. It's a bucket list item. I don't know. I just be doing stuff. Whatever I feel like doing, I'm going to do. Like
we're in that season of our lives.
Yeah. Because when I tell you can, like, nothing is far-fetched. Everything is obtainable as long as you strategize, put together a plan, and execute it. Literally.
Take action.
Literally. Actually, if you want to share, I mean, I'm going to spill the beans. So Daizah and I were actually strategizing or putting together a plan of who we would want as guests on the show. And I'm not going to say no names, but she mentioned somebody and she was like, I don't know if we can get that person. I'm like, girl, we can get anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. We can get the Heavenly Father himself if we try to. You know what I'm saying?
Dear Heavenly Father.
There you go. All you got to do is ask. All you have to do is ask.
Yes.
That's all you have to do is open your mouth or your email and send an email. But seriously, though, like, closed mouths don't get fed. I'm just keeping it at that. Closed mouths do not get fed. All you have to do is put your foot out there and hopefully they don't shut the door in your face. And if they do shut the door in your face, go to the back door. Seriously. Or climb through a window.
If they don't open the back door, go through the window.
Climb through a window. Simple.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel and follow us on all platforms. But before we exit out of here, the question of the day is, what is your guilty pleasure? And if you don't know what a guilty pleasure is, here's the meaning. Something you enjoy but feel embarrassed or ashamed to admit.
I'm a bit embarrassed and ashamed to admit a lot of stuff. I'm going to just narrow it down to one response, though, for the next episode.
Yeah. But let us know what you guys think in the comments about the episode. And don't forget to leave your answer in the comments.
Yes.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning in.